Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another episode of Jash Reads. And as always, this video. Oh, sorry. I should say what I'm reading. Yeah, and this is another episode of Jash Reads, and today we're going to be reading more of Animorphs number 11, The Forgotten by K.A. Applegate. And as always, this video is not intended for kids. This video is instead intended for adults who are discovering or rediscovering the joy that is Animorphs. And so I talked to my dad recently, and my relation with him is that I'm glad I'm out of the house so I don't have to encounter him 24/7. But anyways, it turns out he's one of those idiots that pray and protest outside of Planned Parenthood. So, that's already irritating enough as is. But it turns out recently some guy yelled at him. Yelled at, that the group Dad was in. And Dad's like, how could anyone do this? And it's like, I had to really hold back from going, gee, I don't know, Dad. Could it possibly be the fact that, you're out there judging people for their decisions without knowing the whole story? I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why anyone would get angry enough to yell at you. And the best part of his story to me was, that guy's the devil incarnate. That's the only explanation. It's like, really? Once you go with the person who's yelling at me is the devil incarnate because they disagree with my viewpoint, it's like, if that's the first thing you jump to, it's like, really? Really? I don't think he's the one with the problem. I think you are. And before I begin, that's Rev Resner's Walker. And usually it's in the car, but long story short, I was about to do a long story long, but anyways, long story short is that it got out of the car and we had a friend over yesterday, and in this house we're able to social distance with one person, and we all have been self-isolating, quarantining, so we know that, but we're able to social distance. It's not like we stay close together. But anyways, and she was coming over, and just the fact of walking around the house comfortably means, you should, get out of the way. So I decided, hey, let's put it in the storage room. Study. Oh, okay. I waste enough time talking about my personal life, which is totally why you started watching. I'm sorry, some days I have stuff I want to talk about. I've already ranted enough to, Rev Resner, so I need a new audience. But anyways, let's get started on reading the next chapter of The Forgotten. Dun, 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 dun. That's probably annoying as hell. "1:48 p.m. I can't begin to explain what the rainforest is like. To explain it, you'd have to be a poet and a scientist and a horror writer. All I can say is how it makes you feel. You feel small, tiny, alone, hopelessly weak, afraid. You feel heat and suffocating humidity. It's like there's not enough air. Every breath is like sucking air through a straw. You're breathing steam and perfume and the stink of dying, rotting things. The jungle is all around you. It presses against you on all sides. Wet leaves in your face. Creepers that seem to reach up to trip you. Sharp-edged stalks that cut you. And then there are the twin horrors. Bugs and thirst. Mosquitoes, gnats, pig flies, and other flying insects. I didn't even have names for it. Followed us in swirling clouds. They'd descend and attack, then disappear for no reason, only to attack again later. If you stopped even for a few seconds, you could find your foot covered with ants or centipedes or beetles or bugs that defied description. And it didn't help that we were shoeless. The heat sucked every ounce of moisture out of us. It was as bad as any desert. You'd think with all the greenery there would be water everywhere. But no, the actual ground under our feet was dry. All the water is captured in the plants. All the while, as we fought our way through the thickets of vines and ferns and bushes and gnats and flies and mosquitoes, we were followed by a serenade of cackles, groans, screams, yelps, insane animal giggles, clicking, scratching, and the occasional coughing roar as each new species comments on the idiocy of a bunch of suburban kids wandering around the rainforest. For all we knew, they were taking bets on how long the dumb humans would survive. We had pushed 200 yards deeper into the rainforest from the bug fighter when we heard an uproar behind us. And a light! A hoarse but cheer voice bellowed, and a light! They're after him! Tobias called down from above. Axe has 6 Hork-Bajirs on his tail! You happy now, Jake? Axeman! Look out! Behind you! I bit my lip till I tasted my own blood. We have to morph and go back for him, Rachel said. Her eyes were blazing. I could have said no. I had reasons to say no. We were in an unknown place, facing lousy odds. Besides, of us all, Axe was the fastest and best able to escape. But Rachel would have just gone anyway. Just 2 of us go, I snapped. Me and you, Rachel. Marco and Cassie, stay back. Why are we staying back? Marco asked, outraged. Because we need backup, Marco, I said tersely. I don't know if he understood this or not. Rachel did. She started to morph. I was morphing into my tiger morph as fast as I could. Rachel was already well into her grizzly bear morph. Massive shoulders and shaggy brown fur and long, curved claws. Jashoo! Jashoo! The sound of dracon beams reached us. The jungle animals up in the trees exploding in a fury of commentary. Grr! I could hear something large crashing around the brush, but I couldn't see anything. In the rainforest, you're lucky if you can see 5 feet in any direction. Hey Google, turn studio light bright green. Hey Google, turn studio light dark green. Hey Google, turn studio light green. Okay, sorry, I was trying to get a little rainforest vibe going on, but let's see if I turn it slightly, if that's, yeah, it's not going to be good. Sorry, it was a good idea, folks. Sheesh. I don't know. Comment down below and tell me if this looks rainforesty to you. I don't think so, but yeah. What do I know? I could hear something large crashing around the brush, but I couldn't. Oh shit! I just read. I got too distracted by lighting. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to read a book. Shit, where was I? Okay, let's let's continue for realsy this time. I'm ready, Rachel said. Wait for me. I told her. Catch up when you can. Rachel snapped. She lumbered away, back toward the bug fighter, a huge, rolling mass of heavy fur muscle. I cursed her silently. My body was already covered with orange and black striped fur. I was on all fours. Long, yellow fangs grew in my mouth. Long, wicked claws grew where my fingernails had been. I felt the tiger's mind. I saw through the tiger's eyes. I felt the surge of power, the rush of the tiger's might. He was at home in a tropical forest. This was the kind of place he belonged. The tiger was lord of his own native turf. But, of course, in the tiger's native jungles, there aren't Hork-Bajir, and there's no Visher 3. I leaped forward, following the path Rachel had plowed through the bushes. I caught up to her easily. I belonged in the jungle. The grizzly did not. Rachel was breathing hard. I can't see, can't find them. Keep hearing noises, but they keep moving. I listened with my tiger's ears. I needed just a bit within the I needed. Receded, needed. Like, what's the difference? Like, really, folks, what's the difference except entire word? Okay, I'll start that paragraph again. This video's being great. I listened with my tiger's ears. I receded just a bit within the tiger mind and let the animal instincts guide me. The tiger knew how to follow sounds in the rainforest. Come on, Rachel, I said. I plunged forward toward where I heard the loudest sounds crashing through the forest. But I soon realized Rachel couldn't keep up. I was really ticked off right then. At first, Rachel. Oh God, this is being really great. After I took this water, must make me read worse, because ever since I took the second sip, it's like, oh, I can't read now. Okay, and this isn't like a you know action-packed chapter or anything. Okay, I'm not going to mess up, folks. After this, I am not messing up. Probably. I was really ticked off right then at Rachel for being so impulsive, at Tobias for acting like I wanted to put Axe in danger, at the Yeerks for causing all this, at the jungle itself, and worst of all, at me. I'd made mistakes, too many mistakes. Now I had to choose, stay with Rachel or rush ahead and try to find Axe. Help came from the sky. Left about 50 feet, Jake. Tobias called down to me. I was mad at Tobias, but not so mad I would ignore him. I charged left, slinking swiftly through the brush. Jake, look out! There's one right. Arrgh! The Hork-Bajir yelled triumphantly. He swung a bladed arm at me and sliced through the ferns and bushes like a lawnmower going through grass. His elbow blade missed me by inches. I felt the breeze from it. I knew what to do next. I fired the coiled muscles in my hind legs and I flew. In midair, I extended my paws, each as wide as a frying pan. Out came my claws, and I roared. I swear, that sound actually silenced the monkeys and birds. I hit the Hork-Bajir. He went down, swinging fast but too slow. Hork-Bajir are fast, but when it comes to close-in work, slashing and parrying and applying the teeth, the tiger's faster and nastier. He slashed. I felt pain sear my right shoulder. I slashed and heard the Hork-Bajir cry out. His snake head jerked fast, aiming his forehead blades for my face. I ducked and dove in, sinking my teeth into his neck. From somewhere I heard the sound of a bear's pained roar. I heard crashing, thudding sounds. I pulled back, leaving the deadly, bladed, 7-foot tall Hork-Bajir lying on the jungle floor, moaning in pain. I actually felt a moment of pity. The Hork-Bajir race has been enslaved by the Yeerks. This Hork-Bajir warrior didn't ask to be here, bleeding from a dozen wounds in an alien jungle a billion miles from his home. But then I didn't ask to be here either. I listened for sounds of axe. Nothing. I listened for Hork-Bajir. Nothing. I listened for Rachel. Nothing. It was like they'd all just disappeared in the green. Green everywhere I looked. Then a sharp pain in my left paw. I looked at the Hork-Bajir, but no, he hadn't moved. I realized I was falling over, simply falling over. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the snake slithering off. It was bright yellow. Demorph, I told myself. Demorph! But my head was swimming, and the green was closing in around me, burying me in green. A bird landed beside me. I could see that. Jake, morph back, man! Morph back! I was trying to remember what it was I was supposed to become. Then, flash! I was walking home from school. Me and Marco. We were talking, wondering what Tobias wanted. Tobias's thought-speak voice was in our heads, saying, flash! Tobias's voice saying, that's it, Jake! Come on, man! Keep at it! I could see again. I could see my hands stretched out in front of me on the ground. They were half human, half tiger. Could I morph away from poison? Would morphing get it out of my system? Should have asked Axe. I berated myself, but I was already learning the answer. As I became more human, I felt the poison weaken. Come on, Jake, come on, Tobias said. There's no time. What? What is it? More Hork-Bajir? I asked him when I had a mouth again. No! It's Rachel! I felt my heart miss several beats. I climbed up, rickety from the quick change. I felt like throwing up. Maybe it was the poison. Maybe it was just too much happening at once. Where is she? I asked. Straight behind you. Maybe 100 feet. Hurry! I'll go up and see what's happening. He flapped away, leaving me alone and barefoot and vulnerable in the rainforest. I found Rachel by following the damage she had done. 3 Hork-Bajir lying unconscious. Or worse. I didn't have time to worry about them. Because that's when I saw Rachel. She was out cold. Still in grizzly morph. She'd been cut up badly by Hork-Bajir blades. She was lying there on her side, bleeding. But that's not what made me want to scream. Her fur was alive. Alive with a million ants that were already ripping away a million tiny bites from her wounded flesh. And that's the end of that chapter. Lovely, happy chapter. I mean, the ending of the chapter is like, this was marketed towards kids. This was marketed towards kids, like young teens, young adults. It's like, you don't think it's a little graphic with it, like, oh yeah, here's one of your heroes, and parts of her are getting eaten and moved around by ants. Like, ants are just taking her flesh and just going, like, you just, like, there are books that have been banned for far less, and yet Animorphs gets away with, the ants taking away Rachel's flesh, like, it's like really, really, everyone getting outraged about books that aren't worth being banned over. Like, where are you coming from saying this? But this one where, ants are tearing away one of our heroes' own flesh is like, really? Really? But I know I shouldn't be laughing at this line, but anyways, her fur was alive. And whenever I read that, I'm like, her fur was alive with the sound of music. Oh, I'm horrible. I know I'm a horrible person. Oh, jeez. Such a horrible joke. But on the more serious side, here is Jake. This chapter is all about Jake having to make yet another fateful decision. And you see the factors that influence the decisions he makes. He knows in his sort of rational mind that out of them all, Axe can escape really well. Like, Axe probably doesn't need the help. But the only reason he ends up going to saying, okay, Rachel, the whole plan is me and Rachel go save Axe and everyone else hang back, is because he knows that no matter what he says, Rachel is going to, try and help Axe. So he's like, okay, I can't do the rational thing. I have to protect, my friends. I have to protect them, and the best way to do that is to make sure that Rachel goes with someone. And since this is going to be my decision, I'm going to go with Rachel, making sure she's okay. And like that decision of whether or not to go back and help Axe isn't a simple, this is the right thing, this is the most logical or the right thing to do, and so we're just going to do that because that's the smartest thing we could do. There's other factors influencing him, like Rachel. And in the chapter, even it's like he's pissed off at Rachel for being so impulsive. Like, he wouldn't be in this situation right now if Rachel could control herself and if he trusted Rachel enough to control herself. And there's also the fact that he's also mad at Tobias for making him feel really guilty. Like, Jake's already feeling guilty. It's a hard decision for him, and Tobias is over there going, it's your fault. So he's mad at Tobias, but at the same time, even when he's mad at these outside forces from, Tobias, Rachel, all the way to the rainforest itself, he's still mad at himself because he knows he fucked up time and time again. So he's not, blaming other people for all his wrong decisions. He's well aware that he's made some shady decisions in the past. So I'm going to put you in Jake's school, Jake's shoes for this question. Although he doesn't have shoes in this chapter, that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is, let's see what decision you'd make. Would you decide to go back and rescue Axe, or would you keep going away from him? And mind you, Rachel's still going to go off and do her own thing and rescue Axe no matter what you do. So please comment below and let me know if you would also go to rescue Axe or you wouldn't. So comment down below, let me know. Also, feel free to comment below on anything else in this chapter. Maybe some things I didn't mention, maybe you need me to clarify something, anything. Anything except major spoilers. I am hoping against hope that people who view this video start to get interested in Animorphs. So, I'm sort of hoping to get some new Animorphs via these videos. So, we don't want to ruin all the awesome twists and turns for everyone else. Don't want to do that. There are some big twists, big turns coming up that first time around you shouldn't be aware of. They should just seem to come out of nowhere like, holy shit, this person is related to that person, and this person has a twin, what the hell? And if you have read the series all the way through, you probably know what I was referencing, but everyone else does not. Oh gosh. And if you listen to this video and you're like, hey, I'd really like my very own copy of Animorphs number 11, The Forgotten by K.A. Applegate. Well, everywhere I post this video, I post a link to where you can buy your very own copy of the book. Now, buying via my link will do 3 things. 1, it will give money to K.A. Applegate, the creator, who, along with her husband, Michael Grant, made this lovely series that, ruined all of our childhoods. Also, it will show Scholastic that Animorphs is still a viable property. And so we'll get, new Animorphs content, and hopefully shit works out with the movie. Because now that Applegate and Grant aren't involved, I'm concerned. And, also more audiobooks. Right now they stop at number 10. I think there's still plans to do the whole entire series. So if you want to listen to someone actually professional, yeah. Also, there's Animorphs comics. So we already got the first one out. Let's hope we can do all the graphic, all a gra. I'm getting so excited. But anyways, let's hope we can have graphic novel adaptations of all the books in the series. And finally, I'm a member of the Amazon Associates program, so I get paid a little every time you buy via one of my links. So, that'll be awesome. I'm your favorite YouTuber, right? And finally, oh, actually, two things, shit. But anyways, please like this video if you really wish the gang had shoes about now. Like, they're not just walking through the rainforest, they're walking through the rainforest barefoot. So, give this video a like if you think they should have shoes. If you just pity them for not if you think they should have shoes, but if you really pity them for not having shoes, that's what you should like. Yeah. Finally, subscribe to this YouTube channel because I will not only be reading all of Animorphs number 11, The Forgotten, I will also be reading the entire Animorphs series. Yes, folks, the entire Animorphs series. So, you don't want to miss a thing because it is really awesome. It is a really awesome series. And, God, for some reason I thought it was Friday, but I hope you had a good Monday and that the rest of your week is awesome. That nothing at all goes wrong. Unlike me, who will have to help give some medication to Navi. I catch and hold Navi like I did with, the parakeets, I had to give medication to. And then Rev Resner will give the actual medication because I don't really have good hand-eye coordination, and birds can be bastards when you're giving them medication. Like, they can turn their head basically all around, and they can also spit, through their beak, and also their little nostrils. They can shoot stuff out of that too. And they can bite. Luckily, at least last night, Navi did not bite hard. She clamped down a little, but I've been bitten full force by cockatiels and parakeets before, and that wasn't really that hard. So, yeah. And don't worry, nothing is seriously wrong with Navi. She's just, like, she's having a little bit of allergies. So, her little nostril things are sort of more pinkish than they should be. So, yeah. So she's not doing too bad. It's just this time of year, and they both cockatiels, since they somehow know we're going to sell one of the cages, is like, oh, let's go around and play on this dusty cage. So it's like, it's been there for months, and now they're like, yes, now we must do this. I love my birds, but what the hell? And until next video, goodbye.